nice. Either you were walking on sand or you were walking on that oaky red dirt. It was a real nice trail down there. The field itself, man.
Dude, it had kind of like a Vietnam-esque kind of like
Absolutely.
field, like the way the vegetation was. You had because there's a river that goes through, kind of like on the border, so that's where all the sand really comes from. And it kind of played into it too. Like the beach was kind of like a border, but it wasn't really established. I guess how far out you could go. I
Right.
guess pretty much you're not going to go into the water, but the river was pretty low, so you could get pretty far
I mean,
out there.
you
There was a
could.
fob on the beach too.
There was a beach, beach fob, which was awesome. The field was beautiful. The variances in foliage, you'd go from like the brown long wild grass to a bamboo forest to ferns and regular trees like what we're used to here in the Kansas City area and the Missouri area. It was just very diverse. You're right there on the river, so you got all kinds of natural growth going on. It was really cool and it was beautiful, to be quite honest. They had several like buildings, and not only buildings but clusters of buildings that made up towns and like almost nice mountain sites. Really.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like, oh, we threw up some like particle board or something.
Nah, it wasn't
they had
half-assed.
some good 2x4s going, poles. I mean, from what I could see, like they put the work in to make them stay. I mean, talk about.
You got up on the second story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 250 pounds ish. We'll go with that. T-Rex, fat but approved.
250 pounds approved. He got up on the second floor on some of that stuff. Really cool. Hardcover. It's not like it's buildings that are made to be in the outdoors in the wind and withstand the elements. So it's pretty durable stuff. Places like TA Town was really cool.
That's cool.
You saw like the extra touch and the extra effort that they put in building like the kind of like Wild West wooden field around like the third world country fence around it. That was neat, man. A lot of attention to detail. I mean, you could tell that this wasn't just some field that they threw up, in a weekend or over the course of a couple months or something. This is something that's been ongoing for sure.
Definitely.
Really cool, man. The field play, kind of how it played out, it was very fluid. I think the individual buildings to the cluster of buildings that kind of made up some of these towns, like TA Town and like the Armory, which is like a huge second-story building, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I never got too close to it myself.
I got kind of close at nighttime, but you couldn't really see anything. So
right, but as far as how it played between the buildings and the trails and the natural, growth in between these things, like all the way down to the beach, it was good. It's 26 acres.
I believe so.
And the whole time I'm going down there, everybody I'm talking to trying to get a feel for this field, I'm asking questions, how much poison ivy is there, blah, blah, blah. I'm definitely allergic to that shit. But people said it's 26 acres. And I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. But they're like, but it plays a lot bigger. And I'm like, damn, 26 acres is big to me.
But you know what, on that same note, it plays bigger, but yet when you had to go back and respawn at the fob, it wasn't like miles away.
No, it wasn't bad.
It was easy to get there and easy to follow a trail back to where you need to be.
Exactly. So here's the thing about that. The trails were awesome. They were well manicured, well kept, and they were so tempting. But during normal play, stay off the trails, man. So we're pretty much just barreling through the woods, man, like giant freaking brown bears. The trails are awesome, but obviously, I mean, that's just a magnet to get lit up, get into an ambush or something. But they are there. So when you got to respawn, yeah, good point. It's a really easy walk. The admin staff, Drew and his guys from Misfit Squads were on point, dude. They had everything locked down. I mean, I can't.
Man, a lot of the time you run into the issue of either having not enough admin or not having good admin. They didn't have a large number of admin.
I said they had like 5 or 6?
5 or 6, I think that I saw, but they knew what they were doing and they knew how to move around the field and take care of business. They knew how to follow the fight.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people. You got to get an admin in there.
Yeah.
And they stayed out of the way, but they were close enough to see what was going on.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of that too. Anytime an admin was around me, and you might see in some of our videos again, anytime it started to go down and we started to take incoming fire or something, the admin stepped aside. They weren't, up in your face or anything. So, but like any game or any big op, you're going to have your hit calling issues. And I heard it being addressed by the admins. We could overhear them, and sometimes some of these admin staff kind of take a back seat and like, it's Airsoft, it's going to happen. But these guys, I mean, tell us about your story.
So at one point, I'm outside what was called the Merc building. So any of y'all that have played there, you know what I'm talking about. And guy runs out of cover or out from behind some trees. I pop him like 5 times, in the back. And then he kind of runs around. And I see him again. I pop him again. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Either I didn't hit him or he's shrugging it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I hear the admin about 20 feet away from me say, hey, you with the black helmet, and walks over there and calls him out.
Got him. And it was a coordination between an admin that was next to you, seeing you shooting, and then an admin that was next to your target that saw him get hit. So the admin had it on lock, dude. Any situation, if there was a snake, which I may or may not have encountered a what we now determine to be a king snake, which is not venomous, but it scared me because I almost stepped on top of him and he looked like he was there for a fight. But you know, in the safety brief, they said if there's snakes, let us know. And I said, hey guys, there's a snake over here. They tried to clear it out by like 100 feet, get the players away from it. It crawled under a brush pile, and damn, I think they're going to do work on that snake for me. I felt bad for the snake, man. I really did. But anyhow, the admin staff, the team, Misfit Squads, Drew Wilson, they had that stuff on lock. No complaints from myself whatsoever. I mean, I was kind of blown away by how they operated as a team, as an admin team. Really good stuff. Overall game, Operation Doubloon 3, the objectives were cool.
Yeah, man. The objectives were cool. They were on point. They were straight to the, they're straight to the point. No beating around the bush. Coolest thing I saw that I've only seen, I guess, kind of at like really big, high production ops was IEDs, and not just
IEDs,
some IEDs planted on the ground that were like, I think they were tripwire activated, that we technically
pressure
set,
plate
or pressure
they
plates.
had pressure plate IEDs.
Plates, and then they're like CO2 powered, I believe, and they actually had vests that some of the civilian players at times would take off their guns. They had role players too, and they had role players that were walking around with IED vests that were shooting like baby powder.
Yeah, I never got a chance to do it myself because I was usually stuck in the woods somewhere. But we had two or three dedicated civilians, role players that were acting as civilians. If the military green team shot them, they lost points. Same for us, but obviously, like, they're kind of one of us, so we looked out for them, and they looked out for us, kind of. Civilian, the role playing was very cool, especially in the night game. If you guys played the night game with the blood curdling screams, dude, oh my god.
She may have been screaming because I was trying to shut her up a lot, and I think I went too far. I almost went out of airsoft mode and shut her up with the buttstock of my gun because she wouldn't shut up and was getting me shot at.
Yeah, ladies, he's available. He's available.
Shut up!
So anyways, really cool, man. Yeah, and then on the civilian side, anytime you died, you had the opportunity to play, to role play civilian side yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never got a chance to because we're stuck in the woods, stuck in the trees and poison ivy a little bit too much. But and right here, before I go too far, I'm deathly allergic to poison ivy. I got like one spot on my wrist, one spot on my elbow, and I was like in the thick of it for like 9 solid hours, 10 solid hours. So really, that poison ivy down there is not too bad. So if you guys are concerned about that, don't worry about it. Yeah, that's it, man. Awesome game, awesome staff, awesome field. I definitely plan on going back. Now, I've said to some other guys, and I've said to Rex myself, I would like to personally go back during like the fall or early spring when it's a little less dense. And, like I said, we're here from the Midwest, so I'm used to playing in the dense stuff. But I find the more enjoyable games are when it's a little bit less thick.
I'm from Texas, so
we have dry as shit.
It's dry as shit. We have every ecosystem, so. But, I mean, it wasn't so thick. Like, it wasn't, like, covered in thorns or anything like that. So, like, I mean, it wasn't to where you couldn't blaze a trail. But, I would definitely like to go back in different time of year. So, and more green foliage and stuff.
They got the Back to Saigon, which is, like, a Vietnam dedicated out, which is, like, yes.
That's legit. I would, if possible, I want to get into that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I got some ideas.
We'll be back.
We'll be back for that one.
So, there it is. Thanks to Drew Wilson and the rest of Misfit Squad. You guys did an awesome job. Awesome ops. Great to play with all you players out there.
Yeah, man. It was fun. All you guys, appreciate it. Everybody that was involved in that, and all y'all that made a hell of a time, man. It was great. I'm glad that you got the chance to go down there.
There you go. Check out some of these annotations for the links to my videos from Doubloon 3 and some from T-Rex. Until then, guys, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching.